Alright everyone, so today I'm going to talk about this little newt, and I'm actually going to hold it. But to do so, I must first assure that my hands are full of water to not hurt his skin. So put some water on my hand so I can actually pick it up and not risk to hurt his skin. Come on. By the way, I'm being super duper gentle with it. Alright, hello little buddy. So there was a lot of discussion about this little newt, especially during my first video about it, and my gosh, she is popular. She have like so much views for that video. I mean, I think it's close to 80 or something, and a lot of you were enthusiastic to see it. I mean, it is really cute, really small, really tiny, and actually a newt that I never kept before. I found it not in the forest, not in a wild. I actually cut it directly in the front of my house, so I didn't like capture it in the wild like I did with Medusa. Look at it, so beautiful. I really love the coloration on that animal, like the little dots on her back. It's truly astonishing. So since I don't really know a lot about this animal, I won't keep it for long. But basically, what I intended to say actually for today's video is that actually during the first video, a lot of you were really excited about this animal, but some of you, so pretty much Aaron Lewis, point out the fact that he doesn't really understand why I actually capture animals and put them in container. And there was no hate in his comment. I just we just don't have the same point of view. I really love Aaron Lewis. I'm going to actually post a link for his channel, because I strongly advise everyone to check out his channel. He's keeping some birds and other type of animals. Yeah, like not frogs, a dog, and pretty much cocktail and everything. And I know he is really loving his animals, but the fact is he really enjoy watching my videos when I'm out in the nature and doing well, the adventure in the forest, and he really enjoy my fish keeping hobby, but he don't enjoy the fact that I actually capture some wild animals and put them in containers like this one. And in the other end, there is Captain Spicy that really enjoy what I'm doing, which he is really inspired by my videos, and he, like me, is an enthusiast of he is an enthusiast of sorry, I'm just trying to zoom. Come on, zoom on of what I'm doing, and he have actually done pretty much what I'm doing all his life too. So we have like really two point of view. There is the people that don't like what I'm doing, and the people, well, don't like what I'm doing, don't like this part of my YouTube channel where I actually keep wild animals, and the other half that really enjoy it and understand the what I'm doing. So basically, what I want to say is none of the amphibian I kept in this summer, so all the frogs and everything, and this newt, I didn't collect them in the nature. I actually collect them in my backyard, and I pretty much just put them in my containers as a quarantine procedure. Procedure. Sorry. Sometimes my English isn't as good. But basically, because my backyard, I mean, I don't know exactly everything that goes in my backyard. I know it's kind of safe, but in the same time, pesticide and everything could be there, either from my neighbors or anything. So I don't want to release an animal which is pretty much going to die in nature and just propagate disease or something. So my main goal really is to pretty much save animals and then put them back safely in the nature when I have learned a little bit from my observation of them. And sorry, just going to gently, really gently flip my hand so we can see it better. But really, when I put animals in the containers, like I pretty much did all summer long, it is always in the intention of releasing the animals back into the nature, because I strongly believe that wild animals should really be wild. Ooh, some movement. But in the same time, when I see, for example, a snake in the nature, I just see a glimpse of it. I mean, all the gardener snake I've seen this summer, some of them just disappear like flash. And we cannot learn a lot from that. But with Medusa, we pretty much learn a lot about their behaviors, and everything was done in the jungle vivarium, which I really tried to make it as natural as possible. Just going to put it back in there, rehydrate my hand. But basically, since I don't know this little newt, and I might never see it again for this autumn. Oops. Really want to be gentle with it. But yeah, basically, since it is so rare for me to see this kind of animals, you can kind of get why I want to film it and keep it at least for a few days to showcase some of his interesting behaviors, because sometimes we just simply, sorry, I'm just going to continue to film it in his little bed of moss there. But basically, I think those containers, you can clearly see he have a lot of place to walk, and he is a slow walker anyway, and I would feel comfortable if he remained that small all his life, which is not the case. This is only the first stage of tree stage, but I really don't know a lot of about this species. But you can clearly see he have a lot of place that he can actually move and just relax and everything, and he have also a little bit of water. But yeah, if I didn't kept all those animals into containers like this one, I wouldn't have the opportunity to learn a lot about animals. In the nature, we only have some glimpse of animals, and this is why I believe a lot of people keep animals as pet, because they actually want to have nature in their living room or in their room or anything like that, so they can have the chance to see what they cannot when they just take a hike in the nature. And this is pretty much what I do. I capture animals in the intention to actually learn about them, learn how to keep them happily, learn how they behave, learn a little bit about their feeding habits, their feeding strategies, and well, it's just for me, keeping animals in containers for a while, never more than a week or so, except for insects that are doing super well, like the millipedes, which are in the deadly vivarium for a few months, and now they're reproducing. But a lot of animals that I keep, like the frogs and everything, it's never more than a week. So this newt, because I don't know a lot about it, I don't want to keep it for more than a few more days. And I will really need a lot of your help to improve the condition where he is kept currently. Do you think this moss vivarium is good, or do you think I should do something else to make him more happy? And what should I feed him? I mean, I'm going to try some really small insect because and pretty much not snail but slugs and worms, really small size one. But basically I just think that putting wild animals in those containers is a great opportunity for us to learn about their behaviors and making the vivarium look as natural as possible. I mean, you check it out, right, just like that. You could pretty much imagine that he is in the forest, but then boom, nope, it's just a container. But I really try to replicate the habitat where I found those animals, and I strongly believe they are happy in the container for the time they are kept in. But I also believe that animals are always happier in the wild. And yeah, the kind of disagreement I had with Aaron Lewis is that he is pretty much okay with the pet that we keep, so dogs, birds, everything, but he is not in agreement with me catching wild animals. And I mean, the fact is also culturally speaking that he is from Australia, where the rules are not the same from me, which is from Canada. So for him, keeping wild animals is pretty much prohibit, and he can have like a severe consequence for doing what I'm doing right now, which is keeping animals in containers. But this is because pretty much in Australia they have lost a lot of the natural environment, while here in Canada animals have pretty much a lot of space of nature that they can still live in. And basically, by doing all my adventure in forests and keeping animals in containers before releasing them back into the nature, because basically this is what I do. I catch them, then I observe them for a couple of days, and then I put them back into the nature. What I really try and intend to do is to interest people into nature that pretty much is all around them. I just want to suscite the interest in everyone, so we can actually try and start to gain interest into nature and interest into protect it from pollution, from everything that is happening. I mean, the media always cover the fact that oh, human, we are bad, we are killing the nature. But the media isn't propagating enough message about the fact that nature is actually pretty damn interesting and giving reasons why we should actually protect it. So this is what I'm doing. I'm slowly trying to interest more and more people into nature, into small insects and animals that everyone can actually catch. Instead of just kill a spider, why don't you catch it and observe it for a few days before putting it back into nature? I try to really encourage people to open their eyes into watching beautiful animals and plants and moss and fern like this one, beautiful fern, and pretty much just get inspired by it to create some beautiful kind of form of art by simply putting some plants together in a container and then create a wild sustaining ecosystem by putting some animals and insects that will actually eat the dead leaves and everything and just do the cycle of life. I pretty much want to interest everyone into that cycle. And I believe us humans have a big part to do into the nature, and we have to protect it. But to protect something, we first have to gain interest into it and gain some information about it. And how do we do? Well, I catch and keep animals. I wouldn't know half of what I know simply by reading things on internet or just looking at books. A lot of things that I know is actually from my past experience with animals that I actually kept, because it is awesome to do a lot of research, but in the end, sorry, not the hand, but in the end, it's by your own observation and experience that you really learn the most. So I can really read all day long about this newt, but in the end, it is by keeping it in this container that I will learn the most. And I pretty much just share everything with all of you. I try to respect the animal and really reduce the stress as most as possible, and then I just release them back into the wild. And once that is done, I really don't think the animal will be affected by what I did to him. I mean, I catch that animal, that little newt, in front of my home. He was far from his natural nature, but with my help, he will regain some food in his belly, and then he will be back into the wild in no time. And then, well, he will be able to reproduce, and who knows, maybe next year I'm going to catch his baby, or just see his baby and show it to all of you. So I like to go in nature and just observe animals and insects and just let them be. Just show it to the camera, take a few pictures, take a few videos. But sometimes when I see something really interesting, which isn't in danger, I often will catch it. And if I know that I am able to keep it for a few days, I'm going to do so. I mean, gardener snake, I used to catch and keep them, but now I know for sure I didn't have the capacity to do so. But for the Northern American red-bellied snake, so Medusa, I was able to keep it in the jungle vivarium for a while, and she was happy, I believe. And when she was back into the wild, she was happy too. At least she was feeding in the jungle vivarium, at least she was drinking, at least she was remaining healthy and even grow a little. So yeah, pretty much this is what I've done all my life. So since I'm like 4, even 3 years old, I was already catching frogs and animals. And with time, I've learned to do it better and better, and now I'm able to pretty much show all my experience, so you don't have to do the mistakes I did before. And if you don't understand that, well, too bad, I do. And just be assured that I really respect nature, I really respect all the animals, and in the end I release everything back, because in my way of thinking, which is really close, I believe, to the Native American that once ruled my homeland, I believe that humans, we are not above nor superior to nature. We are a part of it, and we should respect it and thank the nature for what she provides and give back. And this is pretty much what I've did all my life. I mean, I take a spider, and a few months afterward, I release that same spider and his 100 of babies she did in my containers. So I hope everyone understands what I'm doing. I hope everyone respect what I'm doing. And if not, well, the fact is that I will continue to do so. But I'm always open to learning more, and I'm always open to interesting discussion like the one I had with Aaron Lewis. I don't believe we will ever agree, but I believe we can both do some compromise. So, for example, I'm not going to keep minnows in a bucket anymore because I felt like the minnows in the native bucket weren't kept in a well enough environment. They all survived in the end, and they were released back into the wild. But I believe with minnows, I should have equipped myself with a bigger aquarium or something with some filtration and everything. This is why I really enjoy Dan Aicheshu 125-gallon native aquarium. He have the space to do what I wanted to do in my little bucket, and the result is phenomenal because instead of keeping like 6 minnows or something, he is keeping them by the dozens, and it is truly astonishing. So no hard feeling. I really enjoy Aaron Lewis, but for that debate, I'm more of the side of Captain Spicy. But I strongly advise everyone to check out Aaron Lewis videos because he is really amazing. He have really great intention, and I understand his intention from the beginning, which was to assure the best life for this little newt, and I respect that. But I hope one day he will respect the fact that I keep animals in containers before releasing them back into the wild as a really educational purpose. And for Captain Spicy, don't worry my friend, you're going to have a shout out real soon. So thanks everyone for watching, and I will need a name for this little animal if anyone is still listening. And yeah, thanks a lot everyone for watching.